Welcome to Business of Design. Business of Design is the world's best business training for interior design professionals like you. The Business of Design podcast offers immediate, actionable strategies and a glimpse into some of the many field-tested, proven systems you can implement to transform your business and your life. After the show, head to businessofdesign.com and get started with the BOD 15-step project management strategy and 6 foundational programs. Together, they deliver the systems, procedures, and strategies you need to run a successful, highly profitable design business. There's no theory here. The complete BOD business model is yours through Business of Design membership. Business of Design. There's only one. And now, your BOD Advocate-in-Chief, Kimberley Seldon.
Well, hello, you fabulous interior design professional. Welcome to Business of Design. We're so glad you're here. This is episode 309. Are you a boss? Wait, even better. Are you a legit Business of Design boss? Because you should be. On this episode, we have a bit of a surprise. We're twisting things up today. You are going to hear from not just me, Advocate-in-Chief Kimberley Seldon, but also you guys, everybody knows Cheryl Horne, Director of Operations. Hey, Cheryl.
Hi, everyone.
And Janeen Laudenback, Director of Leadership and Productivity. Hi, Janeen.
Hi, so good to be here.
All right, so we're going to get right into the episode. Cheryl, Janeen, what are we talking about?
Well, I'll start because I kind of requested this episode. It is definitely different for us. We haven't done like a whole episode about boss or any of the things we do at Business of Design, really. January has been a busy month, and I feel like I've had a lot of conversation about boss. Even more so than in previous years, it seems like this is the year people really want to level up and take that next step.
Well, that makes sense because we now have launched some BOD boss groups, and those boss members are going out into the universe and saying, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. So I completely understand why you're getting lots of inquiries, and we're really happy about that.
Well, they must be talking to other members because we've heard so many positive comments from the current boss members about how it has transformed their business. And that's exactly what we wanted to happen. We really wanted to build a network of professionals that are excelling in their businesses.
That's right. Yeah.
For sure. So I have been answering a lot of the same questions for many of our members. So we sort of thought we'd do that for everyone. I have a little bit of Q&A for you guys, and you guys can jump in and help me answer some of these. So Kimberley, I'm going to start with you. And why boss? Who is boss for? And why did we launch this as the next step for our members?
Oh, wow. Okay, Janeen, you just jump right in here at any point.
No pressure.
I will say that part of the reason truly that we launched the boss group, of course, leads back to selfish me. I have spent a fortune on joining different groups, mastermind groups, leadership groups, entrepreneur groups, and I have never felt like I've gotten the value I needed based on the fee I paid. And some of the fees are pretty pricey. So that's saying something. So that's one thing. And then I know Janeen and I have been talking about how do you replicate what we're doing in a broader way, because Business of Design, we're a small group and we can't be at every high point. We can't be at every interior design show. So how do we spread the message and make sure that we're fulfilling our mission, which is to change the industry one design business at a time?
Correct. And you know what we found out really from our members, and especially those members who had been with us on our face-to-face events, is that they were looking for more connection with other like-minded professionals and people that they could be accountable to and accountable with, and people that they could run scenarios by. And, there's a lot of need for that. It's such a individual business. So many are solopreneurs and they don't have that contact with other professionals. And so we've really found that those connections have been important to the boss members.
And it really matters who you hang out with. And I know you guys have heard me talk about this a long time, but for so many years, my posse of designer friends were not running and continue to not run profitable, successful businesses that I want to emulate. So for me, I was always connecting myself to other business professionals in the hopes that I would be able to take some of what they teach and what they use and transfer that to my business, which I did. But then guess what? I took all of that learning and I put it into Business of Design. So it's already there. So now it's really about, let's get people past the point where we're talking about paltry salaries, sad revenue, low fees, not billing for all of the time and expertise you bring to projects. Don't get me wrong, we all start there, but we can get you out of that place really quickly with membership. There are hundreds of videos that tell you exactly what to do so you can start the project and finish the project feeling great, knowing you're going to get repeat and referral business. That's taken care of. This is next level. This is for those BOD members who want that heavy six-figure salary, who want to run a firm that they can feel really empowered by, who are keen to go further than they ever imagined.
And that actually leads really well into the next question, because it's how do you qualify for BOSS? We are very clear that you need to have completed Business of Design certification, which is the BOD 15-step project management strategy program itself. BOSS does not reteach the content, the systems that are available to you within membership. You have that available to you. You don't need to meet in person to do that. So it's really, that's the work that you can do independently on your own. And then the BOSS groups hold you accountable and help you implement and reach that next level. So I have gotten questions about, I'm a solopreneur versus somebody who has a firm with 15 employees, or do I need to be at a certain financial level already in order to participate in this group? So what else are we looking for from BOSS members in order to qualify and get the right candidates in those spots?
Yeah, I'm glad we're talking about this. And it's so funny when you hear the BOD 15-step project management strategy, we know that that's a mouthful, which is why often you'll hear us refer to it as the BOD 15. I think of it as the Kimberley Seldon Design Group 15 because this is how we run every project. I also want to say that I used to have a staff of over 20 people, almost 30 people at one point, and an office building with 3 floors. And I did not make nearly the same amount of money that I make without that, with a much, much smaller team. So it's definitely not about the size of your team. That is 100% for sure. I think it's safe to say it's about hunger. It's about drive and ambition. And in some cases, it's about true frustration and surrender. They've had it. They have everything they need to be successful, and it's not working. Why? Because they haven't surrendered. They haven't let go of what isn't working and embraced what is working. And there is nothing more powerful than being with like-minded peers who have let those things go and have them encourage you and say, this stops now. This is your new procedure. This is how you're going to handle that. And of course, then they have access to each other. Every day of the week, they're calling each other, they're texting each other, they're checking out what they think they should do. And when there's a real sticky problem, they bring it up at a monthly meeting, or they reach out to us and we help them solve the challenges. So I think it's safe to say it's about hunger and ambition and drive and just a determination to succeed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that I think we've seen is that there's different areas of the business that certain BOSS members are really comfortable encouraging other BOSS members in. And then maybe a member who might be a little bit quieter or have a smaller business has more expertise in a different area, maybe the financial or the books. And so with all these like-minded professionals, these people who have different areas of strength, they're able to encourage each other. So I know when we're talking to potential BOSS members, I think for me, sometimes my inner voice says, well, I'm not ready. I can't do this. But what we found is that members have all different areas of strength, and putting these people together is where we really see the magic happen because everybody is learning from each other.
That is so true. And the other thing I want to say is it's not just groups leading themselves. Business of Design provides the structure. We provide the agenda. We provide the format. We provide much of the learning, and we definitely provide the financial advice. So that's a big part of it as well. So who's eligible to be a BOD BOSS member is that person who is ready to do it, who's tired of this being a hobby. I just had a call yesterday, a coaching call, and those were her exact words. I'm tired of this being a hobby. How am I ever going to make this a thriving career? And the answer is right in front of you. Implement the things that you've learned in the BOD. Tell me what you haven't implemented, and I'll tell you why you're not there yet. And of course, as is often the case with this particular BOD member, it was the fee stuff. She's been afraid to implement asking for a retainer. She's been afraid to raise her fees. She's been afraid to bill clients for her time. So we spent our coaching call figuring out how she was going to just finally take that leap. And I know 100%, I can guarantee if she does it, she will be transformed. So it's also, I guess, not about time in the game, right, Cheryl? We meet people who have been doing this 30 years and have never reached their potential, and they're a perfect fit for BOD boss groups. And then we meet people who have, in fact, I'm thinking of one particular BOD boss member who was only in the industry, I honestly, it was like an hour, but she took the BOD 15, implemented everything before she got her first client. And she is, I think she's president of her BOD boss group right now.
Well, and I think the other thing that I've mentioned previously, or at least on phone calls with potential members, is to really think in terms of how long your projects are. Because I get that question about membership a lot. How long does it take to complete the programming? Because we do it as a membership. And I'm like, you know what? Think of it as like a 1-year program or sometimes longer. And I think one of the reasons that new members can implement so quickly, or those not new members, those new to the industry, because typically they start out with smaller projects with shorter timelines. So yes, they are able to implement the BOD 15 over a 6-month period, for an example, because that's how long their projects are.
And they're also not having to, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but they're also not having to unlearn bad habits. That's the worst, right? Yeah. You get people, well, I've been doing it 30 years. This is how I do it. Well, it's not working. I'm begging you to let go of what you're doing. Please try it a different way, and you're going to see a different result, right? So that's another reason why those newbies are such good candidates sometimes.
Yeah, so you do need to think of it in terms of how long is a real project, because you can't implement the full 15 in 2 months if you haven't actually applied any of it to a project. Mm-hmm. So sorry, that sort of sidetracked us. Let's focus on BOD boss, because the next question that I'll kind of answer myself, because I'm the one that does this within the office, but what's required leading up to each meeting, not just the first one, but all of them? What do we expect? Because we do talk about the homework in advance of the meetings. So what that looks like is an online form. It's quite thorough, where we're going to ask you for an update leading up to each meeting. That's going to talk about the number of projects and what types of projects you have on the go. What changes have you made to your business in the last 6 months? Not only your goals, not just going forward, but since the last meeting or in the last 6 months, what systems have you put in place to make progress on those goals and reach them? We're also going to ask for resources. This is a big one, actually, that what programs are you using? I get this question all the time. Accounting programs, project management programs, team management programs. There's a lot. What marketing have you tried that worked really well and what didn't? All of those kind of resources you're going to share with one another. So
can I just say too, that's one of the biggest outcomes in terms of saving you money on where you're spending, because what we're seeing is different boss groups will say, okay, this month everybody's going to take a free membership toward this or that app, and we're going to come back and compare notes. And so you've got these, potentially 12 people who are assessing the value of an investment before. And, I'm only one person. I can only try one app at a time, right? So in a month, we've tried like 5 or 6 of the apps, and everybody's agreed this is the one that's working the best. We're all going to use it. And then we're all going to be on the same page in terms of support and shortcuts and hacks and all that kind of stuff. That's one of the big advantages of the BOD Boss Group that I don't think any one of us anticipated, but it's huge.
And that's why it's so important that we handpick our BOD boss members.
Oh, such a good point. Yes. And there is magic in the mix, right? We're very strategic about how we assemble those BOD boss groups. And I know it won't surprise you all when I say we have systems and strategies and protocols around how the application process works, how we verify the merit of those applications. And of course, Cheryl can tell you more, right, Cheryl?
We compile all of that and we end up giving out a document that's probably, 30 pages long where you have all of this information so that you can read it in advance of the meetings, and some of that will be shared during the meetings. But the other big piece is that we're also going to get you to submit financials. And it's not just going to be a printout of what you already have in your books. It's a specific spreadsheet that we've created. And our BOD CFO, who manages that for us, has a formula and puts everything together into reports in a way that you can compare all different firms, whether they're solopreneurs or multiple staff, and you really can compare and see where you're at and see what other people are doing and have those conversations about why your numbers are different.
And what are you going to do about it? We should also say, by the way, that when you submit your financials, that information is, first of all, very secure, and it is anonymous to the rest of the group. The BOD CFO knows who's submitted what financials, but nobody else does. And members can keep that information private. But what we found is after a fairly short amount of time, people are keen to share which set of numbers is theirs. And the learning that comes out of that is truly miraculous. I know for sure that a BOD boss group is what I was looking for my entire life. So I'm really happy to be part of the success stories of these amazing, amazing BOD members for sure.
My next question is for you, Janeen. What does a boss meeting actually look like? When you show up, what can you expect?
Oh my gosh, let me talk about the kickoff meeting we had in Santa Monica last year. It was so much fun. And it was so great to see these members, these BOD boss members meeting each other because they had read each other's profiles. We had introduced everybody via paperwork and online, but to see them actually meet each other was so great.
What was really fun is to see, at the first, you're just meeting your group for the first time and everybody's kind of tentative and shy. But I would say it took about, an hour? And we could see that this group was just, they became one. It was really moving to be part of that.
And it was fast, Kimberly. Yeah. It was so quickly how they all really found points where they agreed or they understood each other. And that's exactly what we envisioned. It was so wonderful to see.
Yeah. And then at that launch meeting, it's not just all fun and just meeting people. We also put everybody through the format that we're going to use for meetings. We got updates. We gave feedback. There's structure, which is provided by Business of Design. And then Business of Design continues to provide structure for all the meetings. We actually attend the first two, as does the BOD CFO. And so there's a big financial component. And then there's just that magic that happens when you get together with people who are on the same wavelength and committed to what you're committed to. And I would say in between the face-to-face meetings, the live meetings, all the BOD boss groups now also meet on Zoom once a month. Because remember, your BOD boss members might be from Australia and Texas and Calgary and New York. So those monthly meetings are vitally important as well. When you come to Santa Monica, by the way, for your kickoff BOD launch group, we also will treat you to a private home tour. We have a fun dinner out. So it's a good balance of work and effort and learning, and then, of course, relaxation, but not just mindless relaxation. Learning about design and architecture, I think, is vitally important. Your clients may be visiting amazing cities and learning about design and architecture. So you need to know at least as much as they do and hopefully a lot more. So that's part of it as well.
Well, I'm excited. The first boss group will be in Toronto for their spring meeting, and I'll be meeting up with them. Then you guys got to go to Dallas last year and meet up with them, but they're on to meeting 4 now, and I'm going to participate in that one. So I'm excited for that.
And then in April, we're going to be in Charleston, meeting with another boss group right after we do High Point. So it's pretty fun. And anytime they go somewhere super cool, we're just going to invite ourselves, because I know they've got Australia. Right? I know Australia's on the ticket for like 2024. I'm thinking, like, I think I better be there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, our initial idea was that it would always be hosted in somebody's hometown, and a lot of them are. But we've also had the groups meet up at some of the markets, because a lot of, when you're thinking about traveling twice a year to meet up with your group, if you're already doing the markets twice a year or anything like that, they tend to fall spring and fall. So a lot of the groups, you can plan it around that as well. So that you're sort of doing that's sort of the tour part of it, and you can stick around for an extra day or so to view markets.
Right. And that brings up another point, as you're doing these events and traveling, they are so fun, and you will feel like not only did you recharge your battery in terms of your business, but you will feel like you had a vacation. It's all a business expense and a business write-off. So that's not nothing. That's really important to keep in mind as well.
Yeah, the academic part of the BOD boss groups happen during the day, but at night what happens at BOD boss group meetings stays at BOD boss group. We actually can't talk about it on a podcast.
Yeah, that's especially me. Like, I have to be in bed at 9:30, so yeah, really, it's a wild night.
Exactly.
You know who you are. You've been thinking about BOD Boss membership for a long time. You come up to me when I'm speaking at events like Las Vegas and KBIS and IDS, and you ask me all these questions. You're phoning Cheryl. You know who you are. Cheryl, when you are ready to be a BOD boss, what do you have to do?
Pick up the phone and call me, for one, because I know as many questions as we've answered today, I'm sure you've got more. So I'm happy to have that conversation. Boss is something that our whole team is really passionate about. So I'm always happy to have that conversation. And usually, it's longtime members who I know by name and I've spoken to multiple times. So that's great. But getting down to, I guess, the logistics of it, we're going to be launching in Santa Monica in October. But we do have work for you to do in advance. So while that seems far away, it's really not. And we do form the groups relatively quick. We've never had to, wait till the deadline. So now is the time to apply while you're thinking about it. Details are on the website. Registration or application process, rather, is on the website. So please take a look. Reach out to me if you have questions. We would love for you to be part of our next boss group.
Yes, we really, really are. And Janeen and I are going to be in Australia, and I know we've got a couple people in Australia who are already keenly interested in BOD Boss, Janeen. So we're going to meet them face to face, which is so fun.
Yes, and that's one of the perks that we alluded to, but really just forming these friendships all over the countries, North America, and really all over the world with people that are like-minded and excited about making their business the very best it can be.
So true. Thank you both.
Oh, gosh, it's my pleasure. I get excited just talking about it.
We're already counting down to the next meeting. It will be here before we know it. So
yes, it sure will.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Bye, everybody.
Right.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening and supporting the BOD mission to improve the industry one design business at a time. If you're ready to implement an exact business model for running a streamlined, profitable business, field tested by thousands of design professionals around the world, head to businessofdesign.com and get started today. It's time to dramatically improve your business and transform your life.